where we learned about unintentional chanting, which were four types: indirect chanting, sanketya, chanting jokingly, parihasya, musical entertainment, stobha, indifference or contempt, Helena. Then we also studied about the faithful chanting, Shraddha Namabhasa. And yesterday we learned about the Namabhasa with little offenses, which are not severe offenses. And the last part of this chapter is, let's see, yeah, it's called Distorted and Real Namabhasa. What has been said so far should encourage us to continue to chant with full faith, even if we are still on the level of Namabhasa. The process of chanting itself will purify us of the offenses and promote our spiritual advancement. In this regard, it is very important to recognize the motivation and mentality that is behind the particular offense against the holy name. Therefore, two further kinds of namabhasa have to be distinguished. Number one, Pratibimba Abhasa. Number two, Chaya Abasa. Pratibimba Abhasa means distorted namabhasa. Chaya Abhasa means real namabhasa. So let's learn about Pratibimba Abhasa first. Pratibimba Abhasa refers to people who have deeply rooted attachments, such as material success or liberation. Strongly determined to further pursue them, they want to take advantage of chanting the holy name for the attainment of their material goals. As mentioned above, in the 98th page, where there are different effects has been discussed. There are 7 effects has been discussed over there. That is the 98th page. If you remember, it talks about faith, extinction of sinful reaction, liberation from the effect of Kali Yuga, disappearance of fear and advent of peace. That's a point over here. Um, Protection from from the influence of ghosts and adverse planets, attaining the 4 goals of life, and spiritual bliss. Yeah, those are the 7. So coming back, as mentioned above, one of the effects of chanting to become peaceful and to lose anxiety and worries. To this end, they are chanting. They aspire to further remain in material life, but without worries and anxieties. Such people cannot be purified. They will remain on the stage of attachments. So even though there is an effect by chanting Namabhasa, which also gives us a peace and remove the fear, but there are people they chant wanting just for that one because their attachment to this world or heavenly planet or liberation is so strong. So that is not good, is what has been told here. Now the example, Maharaj is giving an example. The example of the sun reflected in water has been given. When the sun disperses the clouds and shines on a pool of water, a distorted sun is reflected. Because of the sun, if the clouds are disappeared and that sun is reflected on the pool of water, but it is distorted. Similarly, chanting of the holy name is distorted by being reflected in a material mentality. The best example are yoga groups which practice self-invented methods of chanting, mixing it with material psycho practices. Like, for example, hyperventilation. They want to abuse the holy name for bodybuilding. They try to force spiritual progress by their material power, but are not willing to give up their material attachments, since the determination to stay in material life is the initial motive. There is no real advancement, even if one chants with attention. So that's the first thing that we have to we have to understand is Pratibimba Abasa, where even though it gives an effect of free of fear and a peace in mind. But that is not the only goal that we want to get attached to and be in peace in this material world. That is not nice and that's not going to make any advancement, is what's been told over here. And the last section of this chapter, Chaya Abasa, real Namabhasa. The previous one was distorted, now it's real. Real Namabhasa is performed out of ignorance or weakness in heart. All anarthas which are still left on the stage will be rectified in due course of time by continuously chanting the holy name. Thus, the decisive factor is our motive to chant. If we chant with the desire to turn towards Krishna instead of wanting to improve our material circumstances, then we chant Chaya Namabhasa and are on the right path towards pure chanting. So, what has been said here is comparing two different things. When we are chanting Namabhasa, if we are continuing to stay in to get peace and stay in this material world, that is Pratibimba Namabhasa, where we have some weakness in our heart, but our desire is to attain Krishna. Even though we have any weakness in our heart, we may have some certain attachment, but our strong desire is to somehow or the other, I want to become really chant nicely and attain Krishna, develop bhakti, then that is nice and that is good. And eventually one can attain. That is Chaya Namabhasa. So that concludes this chapter. And here Maharaj is concluding this particular chapter with a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, praises the glories of the holy name, that we will see tomorrow. With that, we will end this chapter and we'll enter into the fifth chapter over the weekend called Shuddha Nama, the key to pure chanting, which is all we want to attain one point of time. Thank you all very much. Let's see if there is any questions or discussions or realizations. Hare Krishna. If there is none, then we should continue chanting. Let's give 5-10 seconds to see if anyone has any questions. Thank you.